Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel if you're back. If you are new, welcome to my channel. I'm Shayna and I have an update on the Orrin and Orson West missing persons case for you all today. Just my usual disclaimer, this is all information that I have found online that I've compiled into a video for educational and entertainment purposes. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Orrin and Orson West case, I do have two other videos on my channel that really dive into and explain everything that happened. So I do encourage you to go watch those in chronological order to get the first video and then an update. This is now the second update. So with that being said, just a brief synopsis. Orrin and Orson West are 3- and 4-year-old boys that went missing from their adoptive parents' home. Their adoptive parents are named Jacqueline and Trezell West, and they resided in California City at the time that Orrin and Orson went missing. Now, before they lived in California City, they lived in Bakersfield, and they moved to California City in September. The boys went missing in December. Now, just to touch on before I actually get into the update, there is speculation, as if you've been following this case, you are probably aware there's speculation that Jacqueline and Trezell never even brought the boys to California City from Bakersfield, and basically they went missing or something happened to them at their prior home. They moved away from Bakersfield to get away, to kind of escape that, and then they created a narrative that the boys went missing from their home in California City, where there would be no evidence of any foul play. A lot of people are speculative that might be what's going on. I am slowly becoming of the camp that is a possibility. Reason being, there's just some things that don't make sense, right? So the night that the boys went missing, AV Watchman went back and watched the footage from the neighbor's doorbell camera and was able to see that Orrin and Orson were never in the backyard the night that Trezell called and reported them to be missing from the backyard. Also, the time that they said that Jacqueline and Trezell said that they took all of the kids, the 4 other children, and Orrin and Orson on a shopping trip. AV Watchman went back to that date, looked at the footage on the neighbor's doorbell camera, and there was no sign of Orrin and Orson. That, and combined with the fact that the police did release a statement saying that neighbors reported that they had never seen Orrin and Orson at this house and then retracted the statement. Now, it is possible that a neighbor might have said that and another neighbor said something else, but it's just, it's one of those things that it just makes you scratch your head. The last reason that I'm speculating that it's possible that Orrin and Orson never made it to California City is because the other 4 children were allegedly with their adoptive grandparents or adoptive grandmother or one of the adoptive grandparents. It wasn't clear. But the other 4 children allegedly were visiting another family member, but Orrin and Orson weren't. They were still at home with Jacqueline and Trezell the night that they allegedly went missing. And that just strikes me as odd. If you're going to send 4 of your children, why wouldn't you send the 2 youngest ones as well to visit with the grandparents or grandparent? So all of those things combined have me a little weary of Jacqueline and Trezell's story. But to now get into the updates for you. So California City Police have been leading the charge on the investigation up until about a couple weeks ago and I don't have the exact date, so please forgive me for that, but they shifted the leaders in the investigation to the Bakersfield Police Department. A lot of people saw this and was like, oh my goodness, this is another, in a way, confirmation that the boys never even made it to California City. Now, of course, the police aren't going to release this information to the public, but we're under the impression as the public that the police have found out or realized or come to the conclusion based on some sort of evidence that Orrin and Orson never made it to California City. And now the Bakersfield Police Department is leading the investigation because chances are something happened to the 2 boys while they were still in Bakersfield, but before they even moved to California City, Jacqueline, Trezell, and the other 4 kids. Now you might be wondering, they said that the canines found the scent of Orrin and Orson inside the house, but not outside the house. That was another odd thing, but it is likely that they just picked up on their scent, from Orrin and Orson's things being in the home or the family that had touched Orrin and Orson's things being in the home. So just because the canines picked up on their scent does not mean that Orrin and Orson actually made it to the home or that they went missing the night that Jacqueline and Trezell said that they went missing. It's possible that something happened long before this night in December and they, are coming up with a cover-up story. But again, I am not here to, declare that Jacqueline and Trezell are guilty at all, but just there's some things that don't make sense. So the Bakersfield police are now, leading the investigation, which is a huge update. And with that being said, the second update that I have for you today, one of the neighbors of the adoptive grandparents of Orrin and Orson did an interview and released that a search warrant was issued and that police and detectives were outside of Orrin and Orson West's grandparents' house for hours on Friday, just this past Friday, so 3 days ago, around 1 p.m. They were outside the house for hours, they were inside the house, they were looking around, they were kind of lingering around, so collecting evidence. They came out of the house with brown bags with evidence. So I don't know, y'all. I'm no policeman or woman, or investigator, but I am willing to bet that police are now under the impression that the boys went missing from Bakersfield or something happened to them in Bakersfield. What other reason would they have to search the grandparents' house, After I completed filming, I did go back and find that police also have been searching a dirt lot near the Casa Loma apartments, which are located in southeast Bakersfield and are actually where Jacqueline and Trezell lived prior to moving to California City. So this just further drives home the narrative that something happened to Orrin and Orson before they even made it to California City, and that it's possible that they are still located in Bakersfield or something went wrong or something happened to them back in Bakersfield. That is something I also wanted to squeeze in here. Let's get back to the video. So I hope that if nothing else, the police are closer to coming to a conclusion in this case and that it's not becoming a cold case. I really hope that the boys are found safe and sound. But as time goes on, they say if you don't find a missing person in the first few hours, the chance of you finding them just drops tremendously. So I don't know what will come of this. It's been almost 3 months now since Orrin and Orson went missing or were reported missing. And I hope that, police are able to find them safe and sound and, that something happened where maybe the biological family now has them and they are safe or, something along those lines. But I don't know. This is just not sitting right with me that they could be missing for this long and that nobody has any idea of where they went. They're 3 and 4-year-old boys. There's no way that they would have just up and left their parents' home on their own accord with no assistance and not be on camera. There's just so many things that don't make sense. And that is what leads me to believe that there is some sort of foul play on the part of the adoptive parents. But what do you guys think? I mean, I'm just a little person in this big old world, but a lot of us, the people who like true crime, we know a thing or two. So if the California City Police Department shifted the investigation over to the Bakersfield Police Department, what other conclusion can we come to, right? Obviously, police are searching everywhere, but if they were just searching everywhere in equal amount, there would be no reason to switch it to the California City Police Department. They switch it to Bakersfield because the majority of the evidence or whatever evidence they have has now led them there. So I don't know, but that's it. But thank you so much for joining me today. If you made it this far, you are loyal, you really are, and I appreciate you. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Enjoy the rest of your day or afternoon or evening, wherever you are, whenever you see this, and I will see you next week. Peace.